even with all of the devices and the technology and the methods that we've come up with to communicate, we still feel this need to connect in a face-to-face way, in a physical way, to touch, to shake hands, to hug. We still feel that need for connection. It is required, in fact, training is required for any significant challenge in life, including building strong relationships. Now, to get a handle on the difference then between truly training to have strong relationships and merely giving lip service to them, we're going to break it down this morning by looking at some of the strategies that people use when they think about relationships. I think this is kind of a universal, whether you're a church person or not, or believer or not, I think this is kind of universal. I think that we long for transformation in our relationships, or making them better, if you will. But we don't know how to get there. We don't know what it will take to run this marathon, to make this marriage work, or to build a strong relationship. So here we're going to talk about some things that people try, some strategies. The first one is talking, okay? You can write that down. Number one is just talking. It is saying things or listening to things that I'm not actually living out. I think we see very quickly that genuine transformation of my relationships has very little to do with whether I label myself a Christian or not. The second thing would be trying, which is really what Ortberg is talking about in that piece that I read. Trying. I make some occasional attempts to better myself. I read a self-help book. I watch Oprah. I try some things to try to get a little better. When it comes down to the real-life issue of constructing authentic, strong relationships, knowing information doesn't cut it. So my point in all of this is just to say that trying is not equivalent to transforming or to being trained. And if you want to build great relationships, you need to seriously train to be like Jesus Christ. So number 3, training. I devote myself to the practice of becoming more and more like Jesus. And I'm going to put out a lot of big truths here, but I think these are things that you're constantly working on as a Christian if you want to improve your relationships. The first one is this. Looking to Christ, I commit myself to regularly telling the truth. Regularly telling the truth. What do we call somebody who tells the truth most of the time? We call that person a liar. I mean, you can't trust that guy. He'll tell you quite a bit of true stuff, but then he's going to slip in a zinger there. And in a relationship, you lose trust. You don't believe in that person anymore. So I'm laying a foundation of trust and security for the other person in the relationship when I'm a guy who tells the truth. I'm a truth teller. The second thing here is looking to Christ. I commit myself to talk through. Okay, talk is important too. Talk through my frustrations and my anger with those I love. That is hard for me. Okay, I'll just say for me, this is probably the hardest one on the list. I don't do well with expressing frustrations and irritations and doing it in a positive way. It's something I'm working on. It's something I'm training on. I've gotten better at it. I'm sure Isla can tell you that. I've gotten better, okay? But not giving the devil a foothold is what this is about. Not letting him harden ungodly characteristics, character traits in my heart. The third thing here, looking to Christ, I commit myself to speak words that encourage and build. Encourage and build to those that I love. Words are so powerful. Compliments are powerful. I love you is a powerful phrase. Words can do a lot to build a relationship. They can do a lot to tear it down as well. And Paul is telling us here, your words are very important. Say only those things that will build. Only those things that will construct. Only those things that will develop a relationship instead of tearing it down. And number 4, and that's hard, right? Because you get frustrated, you get irritated, you say things that you really shouldn't have said. Number 4, looking to Christ, I commit myself to forgive those I love just as Jesus has forgiven me. Again, He is the source of inspiration. He forgave me. I know I can do it. And He's the source of imitation. He was God. He is God. So I imitate Him to become more like God.